On a battlefield, where every move could be your last, what would you do if you were about to face the enemy? This is the story of a mission that seemed impossible. In the heart of the conflict, the Ukrainian forces face an unbeatable enemy. But something goes wrong. A mine explodes. But the Bradley keeps moving. What seemed like a simple mission now turns into a desperate fight. The Russians react, but chaos begins to unfold. The Russian forces start to retreat. When everything seemed lost, the Russians request 2 Su-25 jets to turn the tide, but something else is coming. The Stinger goes into action. The Russians know they've lost, but the fight is far from over. If you want to see the outcome of this brutal battle and understand how Ukraine is changing the course of the war, stay until the end.
What you are about to see contains real war footage. It is presented strictly for documentary purposes. We do not encourage violence. Recommended for 18+.
In this footage, we see a Bradley laying down suppressive fire to allow soldiers from the 3rd Brigade to disembark from the vehicle. The team begins advancing toward the trenches and quickly secures the perimeter. However, 2 Russian armored vehicles, APCs carrying infantry, are spotted. To provide support, another Ukrainian armored vehicle moves in to assist the Bradley and support the infantry. It opens fire on the Russian armored vehicles. The Ukrainian vehicle scores a hit, disabling one of the Russian APCs, causing the infantry to scatter. The already disrupted Russian counterattack turns chaotic when a Ukrainian Bradley fires a Tau missile, resulting in a direct hit and flames engulfing the vehicle. Despite the Russian troops remaining hidden in trenches, the Ukrainian soldiers continue their advance, ultimately forcing the Russians to retreat.
Granata! Granata! Давай, обходи! Чист! Чисто! Граната!
The Ukrainian advance does not stop, and some Russian soldiers hold their positions and refuse to surrender.
Цыган, понизься, работаю! Шахтарь!
However, the trenches are overrun and come under Ukrainian control. After Russian reconnaissance teams using drones confirm that there is no way to halt the Ukrainian advance, they request air support. 2 Su-25 fighter jets and their pilots prepare for the mission. Missiles are loaded and clearance for takeoff is granted. As they approach the target, the pilots deploy thermal defense flares upon entering the danger zone, avoiding heat-seeking missiles and the Ukrainian air defense system. Once the target is located, the jets open fire. The rockets explode just a few meters from the Ukrainian soldiers, who suffer only minor concussions. The Su-25s begin a return to base via an alternate route. However, the Ukrainian air defense team is already in position. With the target confirmed, they launch a Stinger, a man-portable air defense missile system designed to take down low-flying aircraft. The Su-25 is hit. And the pilot manages to eject from the aircraft. The Bradley proceeds to the evacuation point, and the operation is completed without any personnel casualties. Soldiers from the 3rd Assault Brigade prepare for a new mission. They board the Bradley fighting vehicles, determined to carry out a crucial task. During the advance toward enemy positions, the vehicle hits a mine which detonates, but fails to stop the Bradley from moving forward. The vehicle's gunner spots an APC, a Russian armored vehicle, coming from the opposite direction. An intense firefight erupts between the two vehicles. The Russian armored vehicle sustains significant damage. In the footage, one of the Russian soldiers can be seen jumping out of the moving vehicle as it is already out of combat. The crew manages to evacuate before the APC is engulfed in flames. In this footage, we see Ukrainian forces using drones to carry out reconnaissance over an area where they identify a Russian artillery unit, a 2A-36 Gyatsint B 152mm towed cannon, a heavy artillery weapon designed to destroy enemy positions, personnel, and vehicles with high precision and considerable range. The Ukrainians decide to deploy a flamethrower drone equipped with a capsule carrying Thermite, a highly incendiary chemical compound. Thermite is similar to napalm in its devastating effect and incendiary capacity, capable of burning through concrete and even tanks. The drone releases the thermite over enemy positions located in a wooded area. The fire spreads rapidly, and the stored ammunition begins to explode. The 2A-36 cannon is neutralized. Here we can see the aftermath of the drone strike the next day. The entire area has been reduced to ashes. In this footage from the Zaporizhzhia region, we see Ukrainian defense forces launching a surprise offensive against Russian forces. Zaporizhzhia is a strategic region in southeastern Ukraine, not only due to its geographic position, which connects the east and south of the country, but also because it is home to the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. The Ukrainian forces, with intense firepower, responded with precision and speed. During the clash, a Ukrainian special unit spots Russian soldiers attempting to infiltrate through the flanks. The soldiers reposition and launch a counteroffensive, causing the Russians to scatter and fail in their mission. The Ukrainian team continues to advance, securing the territory. The footage captured here shows a Ukrainian tank assaulting Russian defenses, previously identified by a Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance squad. The tank opens fire, prompting Russian soldiers to flee. However, they are being monitored by drones the entire time. The Ukrainian tank maintains pressure, preventing the Russian troops from regrouping and establishing solid defensive lines. The situation on the front lines remains unpredictable, with both sides engaged in intense combat. In the heart of Bakhmut, one of the most intense fronts in the war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukrainian border guards continue to hold their ground under extreme conditions. Surrounded by destruction and mud, these soldiers maintain their positions with courage and discipline, facing constant attacks from Russian forces. In this video, we witness the brutal daily life of these combatants. The highlight of this operation is the strategic use of mortars, crucial weapons in trench and urban warfare. The border guards deploy 82mm and 120mm mortars to strike enemy positions with surgical precision. Amid the Russian offensive, Ukrainian troops lead an intense counterattack in the Kyiv region. The footage, captured during the assault, shows soldiers advancing under heavy fire in a strategic attempt to retake control of an occupied village. During the confrontation, Ukrainian military forces use anti-tank missiles to neutralize Russian armored vehicles. The launches, carried out with precision, demonstrate the readiness of Ukrainian units and the effectiveness of this weaponry on the battlefield. Kyiv region was indeed targeted by Russian attacks in the early months of the war, particularly between February and April 2022. Russia attempted a rapid capture of Kyiv as part of a blitzkrieg offensive, but failed due to strong Ukrainian resistance. These images reveal the aftermath of the offensive, Russian armored vehicles and tanks completely destroyed. These records serve as visual evidence of Ukraine's resilience and the intensity of the combat in the region. Before the next battle unfolds, hit that like button.